Randy Fine beat Dan Bilzerian, 56 to 18%. Randy Fine, and I readily acknowledge, one of the most unlikable candidates in the country. At some point, do you go, well, maybe you're wrong, or maybe your approach is wrong, or maybe you need an alliance, maybe you need to build some bridges, maybe you need to find some common ground. You can't make up 1/3 of 1/2 of this country. There were primary elections yesterday. Let me ask you this. What was your primary takeaway? And I'm going to be, I rarely do this, but I'm going to have some predictions going into these midterms. I understand that some are not going to be great, but I also know that there are a lot of myths out there. A lot of what you think is going to happen or is guaranteed is not so. But let's start with this. The governor primary, Byron Donalds, won 47%. Fishback, 10%. So Byron Donalds, 47.8%. Jay Collins, 25%. Fishback, 10%. And of course, Fishback was backed by when, I sat down and interviewed Nick Fuentes when he was talking, and this was the center of that debate, right? This was central. I said, okay, so who's the guy in 2028 who could be better? I have issues with Vance. I have issues with Marco Rubio. But if I would be advocating, hey, vote Democrat because we'll get someone better in 2028, and the closest you can come up with is Fishback, who lost a primary. I mean, but the guy who won got much more than double, got quadruple. So less than a quarter of the winner of the state. You got to offer better than that. Otherwise, you just end up in the hands of the Democrats. And by the way, I believe that Nick is genuine in what he's expressing. I just think he's wrong. Yeah. And I respect that he's able to communicate it.
And definitely on X, everybody was saying like, oh, he's definitely going to win. Look at all these polls among the young people right now. And it was this fantasy. Well, and they were saying there's even like Joel Webbin. I have no idea why he was saying this. He's like, they're rigging the Kalshi odds because it's showing that he has the second place chance was like 10%. I'm like, no, they just know he's not going to be second place or first.
And by the way, this then shortchanges the segment that we'll get to, that polling is used to try and dictate, not to actually reflect, right? It's meant to direct, not reflect public opinion. But when you say this is rigged and a guy gets less than a quarter of the winner, well, then people drown you out as white noise.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened for Congress, Randy Fine beat Dan Bilzerian, 56 to 18%. Now, to be clear, this is important because X and social media is not real life. Randy Fine, and I readily acknowledge, one of the most unlikable candidates in the country.
Yeah.
Distinctly unlikable in the way he communicates, in a lot of his policies, and his face.
That's a big one.
And still trounced Dan Bilzerian, who many people were convinced would win, and by the way, are also convinced that the only reason he lost must be because it's rigged against him. Maybe it's because he pushed out promotional material like this.
Randy Fine wants you to die for Israel. The fat Jew, oh, the fat Jew has got poison to sell.
You called your opponent this fat Jew. So he's not from Israel, but you called a guy in Florida this fat Jew. How is that not anti-Semitic?
Well, he's a Jewish supremacist.
Jewish supremacist, Satan's creepy little minions. Should we revisit that Austrian painter's opinion?
Jeez.
But you're anti-Semitic, Dan.
I'm not. I have Jewish friends.
Oh, keep that con off the door. He's a satanic whore.
I mean, honestly, the only real battle in the world today that I see worth fighting is fucking, exterminating Israel. I mean, I would sign up tomorrow and go fucking put boots on the ground and go fucking kill Israelis. That would be a great day for me.
Stop raping kids. Sounds so contrarian. Our society's lost. We need Dan Bilzerian.
I didn't get him. And here's the thing. You can separate, AIPAC, transparency. Like, here's how primaries can and should be used. Oh, you got 10% of the vote? Maybe not at 10%. But like you would have this with the Tea Party. Oh, you guys had a close primary. Oh, an outsider got 40% of the vote. Oh, maybe we should hear that portion of the party. Meaning, hey, maybe we should listen and reflect and actually be very clear about our policy on Israel, on AIPAC, on funding, on lobbying. Then you can actually correct it. The problem is when you come out and say stupid things like, he supports raping children. And I get it, going to say because sanctuary and stuff, and people go to Israel and these pedophiles. Sure, okay, fine. You can't say, look, it's just inaccurate to say Randy Fine is raping or supporting raping children. Saying the only battle I would fight, I'd go and, shoot some Israelis. Not I would shoot some corrupt people. Not I would take out just Israelis. And I had people texting me, and I talked about it on the show. Do you think Dan Bilzerian has a chance? I said, of course not. Absolutely not. And people go, that's because you're a shill. All right. Do you think I was paid to say that? Or do you think that Dan Bilzerian lost 18-56? Also, I should note, I don't like Randy Fine. I think he's intensely unlikable, like I said.
Looks like a sock puppet.
Yes, he does. He does look like a sock puppet. He looks like something my dad would have behind the couch when I was a kid to entertain me. So right. Mm-hmm. His communication skills, some of his policies, and his face. In this instance, Randy Fine had the last laugh. Because AI kind of made him look like Sam Hyde a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's appropriate. Who knows? But people are going to be pissed about that one.
X is not real life. Social media is not real life. And here's the thing. If you want to, we have the blueprint as to how you can translate this. We saw it with the Tea Party. People go, okay, boomer, the Tea Party did its best, and we saw a lot. We saw that red wave correct the Republican Party. Then it oscillates and it goes back. You saw that with Barack Obama against Hillary Clinton, and you are seeing it now, which brings us to the third key takeaway: the DSA. Right? They are actually using their power to veer the Democrat Party to the radical left, who many on the Marxist right are saying, no difference, vote for them. Angie Nixon won. She got 56%, was endorsed by Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Miss Rachel. Now, see, if you switch that video and you switch the horns to Miss Rachel, I'd be like, I'll allow it. Oh, okay. Also, Nixon had this really sweet, crazy drip for sale on her website. Look at that. Hey. What?
Really?
What?
It's like a Selena shirt.
Oh.
And Nixon, DSA beat Alex Vindman, which is what Trump was talking about. So it was 56-43. Vindman, for those of you who've forgotten, was the impeachment witness against Trump, one of them. Outspent Nixon $16 million to under $1. So this tells you that the DSA...
$1 million, not $1.
Did I say $1? $1 million. Sorry. You can admonish me. This tells you the DSA is correcting. The DSA is applying pressure. I'm going to need some octopus chips.
Thought we had a deal.
And let's be clear about this. And I want to count Nixon as a DSA candidate. Strong black lady. And here is who she is. Let's count the false platitudes, because I'm really getting irritated by not just false platitudes, but like actually retarded platitudes.
I am a wife. I'm a mother of 5. I'm also a former union organizer, community organizer. And Ron DeSantis banned books. I opened up a banned bookstore.
Who are members of the Democratic Socialists. There are a lot of candidates who have won in primaries who are members of the Democratic Socialists as well. You are also running, though, in a state, Florida has, as you well know, and a lot of people are watching know, a large population of people who fled countries like Cuba and Venezuela. What is your message to them? And how are you going to appeal to them? Because you need to win them over, too.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to continue to work hard and go and knock on every door and have conversations with people.
We have nothing to lose.
Platitude.
We have absolutely nothing.
What we see time and time again.
How about your bookstores? Could lose those.
They closed.
Yeah, they got looted. All right, keep playing.
women that always show up and when we are supposed to show up and that actually work to save democracy. We saw it in Georgia when Black women turned out to help save democracy back in 2020. And it's that they want our labor, but not necessarily our leadership.
Platitude. Now pause. That's an important one. That does perfectly encapsulate, because it sounds good, but let me tell you, that's retarded. Imagine if all of the employees in a company said, well, I feel like the boss, the owner, wants our work, but not our leadership. Well, no shit. You work for them. Imagine if every private in the military, well, I feel like the colonel wants all our labor, but not our leadership. Well, yeah, you're a private. Not everyone is a leader. Also, this doesn't mean that there's only one leader. For example, in this company, my name's on the board, but guess what? Gerald is a leader, and he will be the one who manages me on certain issues as it relates to business affairs. You have different roles in leadership, and people who are true leaders will submit to the leadership of others when appropriate as to best be effective leaders collectively for the unit. That also means that not everybody is a leader, but that sounds like a good platitude. They want our labor, but not our leadership. True. Keep going.
Spending $1 billion on a ballroom you will never get to dance in.
We show the world what organized people can accomplish.
When I think that group, I think organized.
And we show the world what people of Florida are all about. Medicare for all.
Drinking on the beach.
Child care.
Oh, that's right.
Real affordable housing. Fully funded public education.
Shut up, pause. This is like someone brought up a wish list with the boxes already checked from Christmas 4 decades ago. Real affordable housing, Section 8. It just sucks. Real funded public schools. You have public schools, you crazy bitch. They've been around they suck. They suck, just to be clear. And Medicare for all, Medicaid, let's be honest, a lot of these social services, they're incredibly easy to get on, and they didn't, for the longest time, even have work requirements. You're just promising things that already exist and suck. If we didn't have public housing, I guess you'd have a case, right? No one would know the horrors of Section 8 housing. If we didn't already have public schools, well, you'd have a case. We do. People don't like them. That's the problem with just platitudes and slogans that mean nothing. Let's keep playing.
To create this country that looks a certain way, that acts a certain way, that believes a certain way, and it's frustrating. And also, I don't understand, there's no sexualization at a drag show. It's just people dressing up and singing and performing. I've taken my children to drag shows, and it's fun. It's entertainment. It's wholesome entertainment. There's nothing wrong. It's just... I don't get it.
Well, she gets it. The one who looks like Urkel banged the front desk lady in Monsters, Inc. I'm aroused while you talk. Flicking the beat. Always flicking. Got me cheese. Did I flick that? Check your privilege, Kowalski.
What I really wanted her to chant was, "Father's in the home!"
Right.
Ooh, that would have been helpful.
Yeah, it would. So that means so far 8 DSA-backed candidates are advancing to the general as far as the House and the Senate. And of course, Kalshi odds of this woman winning are slim to none at this point in time. That's one thing, right? That's a double-edged sword. Okay, they voice their opinion, DSA and the Democrat Party, but is that mainstream? I think that socialism, I think far leftism is definitely more, okay, not I think, objectively speaking, statistically, those in the Democrat Party who want flat-out socialism, Marxism, communism, they're a much greater percentage and influential portion of the Democrat Party than those obsessed with Israel in the Republican Party. Just to be clear. And obsessed does not mean everyone who has a valid opinion and critical eye of Israel. That's not what I'm talking about. Or different lobbying groups. I'm talking about people who are obsessed and make it the centerpiece of their campaign, the Bilzerians of the world, or, of course, in courting that vote, the Fishbacks of the world. They can't make anything happen. They gain no momentum. So I would ask you this, genuinely, whether you like what I'm saying or not, tell me what your feed looks like and contrast it with these results. Would your feed reflect at all that the overwhelming majority of people in Florida would rather have Randy Fine? At the end of the day, sure, you can talk about spending, but we've seen examples where people who are outspent, like we just saw today, they win if they have overwhelming public support sentiment. Check your feed. Would it reflect to you a Fishback losing, basically only getting a quarter of the man who won? Is it at least somewhat proportional? If it's not, then ask yourself why and who's lying to you? Who didn't inform you of this? And did you silence the people who said, I hear you, but objectively, what you're being told is not so? This is also a fun one. It's just funny. Mm-hmm. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, like the whitest woman ever. When people say Karen, they mean someone like her. Well, she took a black lady's job.
No, come on.
Beat out like a bunch of black candidates in a historically black district. So now here's the reason why. It's not a white-black thing. It's not spy versus spy. It's because Sheila Sherfilis McCormick had embezzled $5 million.
Hold on, you're just going to skip past that?
Sheila Sherfilis McCormick embezzled $5 million, allegedly, in disaster relief funds. So that's where people were like, maybe the white pitch isn't so bad.
Maybe we'll take that. She's not going to steal our money.
Wasserman Schultz, she sounds like she has her own money.
Yeah.
Think about this. Debbie Wasserman Schultz versus Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. Sounds like a damn monster movie.
I love that, by the way. Can I just touch on Dan Bilzerian really quickly? Because there is this, he put this tweet out yesterday when I think there was 20% and 40% of the vote. And it's like, see, they stole votes from me in real time. And it's like, well, it's NBC. That's not where the data, NBC doesn't produce all of the official data. They actually pull it from somewhere else. And if you go and look at a Decision Desk HQ or something like that, or even our feed that we pay for to be able to see official results to post, you would see his vote counts going up all night, not going up and going back down. He had 7 or 8 million views on this one post saying, hey, they're stealing votes in real time. Just don't fall for stuff like that. I don't think anybody should look at that and go, oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening. It's just NBC's reporting not being great.
Here's what I would ask, too, of those people. Hey, you know how we covered this week? We said, hey, obviously we're well past 3 months with Iran. And as I told you, if it goes long, it's going to be unpopular and it's going to be seen as a misstep, and rightfully so. And we said, there you go. Give them the benefit of the doubt where they said it would be short. We said, if it's short, great. If it's long, it's bad. Came back to you and said, yeah, this is not great. Will the Fishbacks, will the Bilzerians, will those people of the world go, you know what? We were wrong. We told you that this had overwhelming support and this was popular sentiment. You just need to know it's not, objectively. Will they do that? You ever known someone in your life who blocks out, cuts out anyone from their life who disagrees with them or may hold them accountable or go, hey, maybe you're wrong about this. And so that person, whether they're family, friends, no longer a part of their social circle. That's what's happening with the Bilzerians, with the Fishback folk right now.
Yeah. I saw a prominent account with the results in from the primaries go, we aren't voting our way out of this, are we? And that kind of idea, I was like, okay, first of all, listen, the amount of quote unquote wins that group has had as far as pushing everybody's understanding of how much interference there is from foreign governments, especially maybe Israel, it is at the highest point that it probably has ever been as far as awareness of the general public that, hey, that's a bad idea. Right. People that are willing to push AIPAC to register under FARA, probably at the highest point ever. People not wanting to send money to Israel or have a war in the Middle East, probably the highest point ever. You've moved the conversation and you're sitting there because Fishback and Bilzerian didn't win, we're not voting our way out of this. That's the kind of mentality that we've been talking about this entire time. Well, you don't know how to play this game and win.
And let's play it. And they're saying, it's not a game, man. It's the future. Okay, so it's not a game. You're all in. We got it. Revolution, right? Accelerationist. Okay, let me ask you this. If you can't even win a very small portion, just a third, let's say, is what we're looking for. A third of a Republican primary, meaning if you, with all of these campaigns, cannot make up 1/3 of 1/2 of the country, what part of you is going to lead any type of revolution of the masses. At some point, do you go, well, maybe you're wrong. Or maybe your approach is wrong. Or maybe you need an alliance. Maybe you need to build some bridges. Maybe you need to find some common ground. You can't make up 1/3 of 1/2 of this country. We're not voting our way out. Time to what? Time to what? Less than 10% of the country? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We know that less than 10% of the country is enough. The margins in a national election, it's enough to have open borders. It's enough to have abortion taxpayer-funded on-demand period. It's enough to have biological men and women's sports. It's enough to have giant supposed green energy companies, the Solyndras of the world, and embezzling. It's enough for an anti-humanist policy. It's enough because the left only needs really 0.5% of a vote is what you're talking about nationally. It is not enough for you to do anything other than hand the country over to Marxists. That's really the only threshold that you meet. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to have your opinions. I'm not saying, but you do need to decide what you want to do with it, because right now you can't do anything other than help the left win. Don't give me platitudes. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle in the age of Instagram and shorts. I think you have some shorts up there. You have an attention span that is longer than that of a fruit gnat. So thank you. I'm glad you probably would like it a lot more if you actually head over and subscribe on Rumble. I'm live there 5 days a week, 11 a.m. Eastern, where free speech is still alive. Go to Rumble. Get off the social media ghetto that is YouTube, with a lot of homosexual activity here on YouTube. There may be some on Rumble, but I haven't seen it.